in.
Yeah.
But there will be some gorgeous objects in there.
Yeah, the Armory, yes, as you said, is a spectacular place just to visit, but we're honored to be able to have the show there for the 59th year. The show actually runs for 10 days, and it's one of the few vetted shows in America. There's a huge range of material from ancient Greek, Roman, and Egyptian up through mid-century modern, and it's all reviewed by a committee of experts. In fact, that happens very soon, tomorrow, who will review each thing before it's exhibited in the booth. So it's actually a very good place to start or extend a collection because you can learn so much from the exhibitors.
And anyone is welcome to come. You can buy a ticket.
Yeah, tickets are $20. We open on Friday and run for 10 days through February 3rd. And our hours are noon to 8, except on Sunday and Thursday it's noon to 6.
Okay, and tell me a little bit about this organization that the show supports, the East Side House Settlement.
Well, the show is very unique in that the show is owned by the charity that benefits from it, and they started the show in 1955. One of the chief things that is done with the funds raised from the ticket sales, etc., is support now 5 different high school programs in the South Bronx that are helping not only keep children off the streets, but we've gone well beyond that. They're excelling in high school, and many of them are going on to college.
All right. Well, it's certainly a great cause and a great event, and like we said, some amazing pieces. And Kenneth, you're here with really a spectacular letter written by President Lincoln. Tell me a little bit about this. You're an expert in historic letters, manuscripts. How did you come across this?
I acquired this fairly recently from a collector who had bought it about 15 years ago. And I've been in the business over 50 years, so things kind of gravitate back to me that I've sold and kind of come around. But what's interesting about it is just how newsworthy it is these days. This letter is about one of the major events in the Lincoln movie. And as the New York Times said, this is the script for the script. Because Lincoln at this point wants to push the Emancipation Proclamation forward, but he can't do it without a military victory. The war was really stalled and nothing much was happening. And this letter is written to his commander of the Army, overruling him and telling him how he wants the Army run, and this very specific moves of defending Washington and the troop movements. And it shows Lincoln with his common sense. And it shows Lincoln struggling with an incompetent general. And Lincoln went through quite a few generals before he found Grant. But it's very much the strength of the movie and the team of rivals, Doris Goodwin's book, is very much reflected in this letter.
And tell me the price tag that you have put on this letter.
It's $575,000.
It's incredible. And so the content is really his direction to this general, and it has to do with the Battle of the Peninsula, is that
Yes,
correct?
It's the Peninsula Campaign, and he's overruling his general, McClellan. McClellan wanted to withdraw the troops protecting Washington and send them by sea into Virginia, and Lincoln said, this doesn't make any sense. We're going to move them by land, so they're always between Washington and the Confederate forces. And shortly afterwards, McClellan lost a big battle, and then McClellan got replaced. Lincoln pushed the Emancipation Proclamation, and the rest is the movie.
It's really incredible to see his handwriting. And again, this is just one of the many amazing pieces that will be at the show. So Catherine, tell me a little bit more about what else folks will see.
Okay, well, on the screen right now, I think, is 2nd century AD, a little piece of ancient Rome. It's a mosaic. We don't know whether it might have been a mural on a wall or a floor mosaic, but it's a theater mask. And that'll be in the booth of Rupert Wace, one of the dealers in the show that has ancient material.
And I think we have some other pictures of objects as well, if we can go through them. And here's another.
Okay, this is John Singer Sargent's portrait of the 9-year-old Dorothy Vickers. Sargent painted many of the people in the Vickers family, and this is very typical of Sargent at the height of his work. This is a terrific, called a vermilion because of the wood that it's made from, which comes from Africa. Vermilion desk and chair that will be in the booth of Lost City Arts. It's an example of Wendell Castle, who just turned 80 last year, the height of his work in 1965. And that is actually priced at $1.2 million.
Wow.
This gold pendant is by Picasso. And it has a bull, and I believe the date is 1958, and that will be in the booth of BDA Limited from London. They have a booth entirely filled with jewelry by artists. Now we're looking at the Tiffany Faville and wrought iron fire screen, which will be in the booth of Jeffrey Diner, and that is Tiffany glass.
It's beautiful. Okay, and this is just an example. So again, Thank you so much for being on the show, Catherine Sweeney Singer, Kenneth Rendell, and the show runs at the Park Avenue Armory through February 3rd. So get your tickets.
Thank you.
When we come back, the music maven who hits Lincoln Center tomorrow for a special concert. And speaking of music, he writes the songs that make the whole world sing. Tonight, a special ceremony to mark Manilow's Way. We'll explain.
Years ago, I made a promise to provide the best for my family, in sickness and in health. After retirement, Carol and I needed help figuring out what's covered by Medicare and what's not. So we turned to the same folks we've relied on for health insurance all these years.
Ron and Carol called Empire Blue Cross Blue Shield and found an affordable plan that pays for some of the costs that original Medicare won't. Now they have the confidence to keep making memories for years to come. Empire Blue Cross Blue Shield offers a wide range of Medicare health plans to fit any budget. You can choose from options like plans with premiums as low as $0 and get protection from high out-of-pocket costs. Keep the doctors you already know and trust, and even get drug coverage for brand name and generic prescription drugs